Who am I? Clue number one, I am a very highly aggressive neuroendocrine tumor, and I have no known widely documented pre-invasive phase. That's why that makes me more dangerous. Because when you catch me, it's too late. I have already spread to distant sites. Clue number two, I am usually associated with a lot of ectopic hormone productions like ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone, which can cause ectopic Cushing syndrome, or ADH production, ectopic ADH production, or vasopressin production, which can cause SIADH, syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone production. On microscopy, I have a lot of characteristic microscopic features. For example, I have scanned cytoplasm, I have nuclear molding, I have salt and pepper chromatin pattern, I also show extensive necrosis, I also show azopardes phenomena, I also show high mitotic count, and nucleoli are usually not seen. I can also show neurosecretory granules when documented through electron microscopy. Clue number four, I am strongly associated with a neuromuscular junction disorder which is known as LEMS, Lambert-Eaton myasthenic syndrome, where autoantibodies are produced against the presynaptic voltage-gated calcium channels. And sometimes LEMS can even present before me. So LEMS can act like a harbinger before my onset. And clue number five, I am usually associated with presence of a lot of neuroendocrine markers, immunohistochemical markers. For example, synaptophysin, chromogranin, CD56, and SM1. These neuroendocrine markers can be usually are positive for me. So who am I? I am, as you have correctly guessed, small cell carcinoma of lungs, which is thought to be typically a conventional example of highly aggressive neuroendocrine cancer or tumor. And that's why they present with these neuroendocrine markers like CD56, synaptophysin, chromogranin, and INS-M1, which is another marker. And as I have no known pre-invasive phase, unlike the other lung cancers, for example, adenocarcinoma usually developed by step-by-step progression, atypical adenomatous hyperplasia, AAH, then adenocarcinoma in situ, then invasive adenocarcinoma. Squamous cell carcinoma also goes in this way, metaplasia, dysplasia, then carcinoma in situ, and then invasive squamous cell carcinoma. But unlike that, I don't have that kind of well-documented pre-invasive phase which can help me to catch early. That's why when I'm present, I usually already have metastasizes to multiple places. And that's a characteristic feature of the small cell carcinoma. And that makes it very dangerous. Usually the prognosis is comparatively very poor, and people usually don't live beyond 1.5 years or more than 1 year, depending on what kind of setting I am treated. And this small cell carcinoma, as I mentioned, is also one of the clues I have given already. It's associated with a lot of paraneoplastic manifestations. Paraneoplastic manifestations means they are typically associated with production of these ectopic hormones like ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone, which can cause ectopic Cushing syndrome. It can present with SIAD, syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone. And a characteristic paraneoplastic syndrome is also LEMS, Lambert-Eaton myasthenic syndrome, which is a neuromuscular junction disorder, like myasthenia gravis. But unlike myasthenia gravis, myasthenia gravis is a postsynaptic membrane problem basically. This is a presynaptic problem. And autoantibodies are produced against the presynaptic voltage-gated calcium channels. So, and also the small cell carcinoma is associated with a lot of characteristic microscopic features, as I mentioned. It shows scanned cytoplasm, it shows absence of nucleoli, it shows a characteristic granular chromatin pattern like any other neuroendocrine tumor, salt and pepper chromatin pattern. It shows nuclear molding, crushing artifact can be seen, extensive necrosis can be seen, high mitotic count can be seen, and angioparties phenomena, which means that actually there is a bluish concentric bands are seen around the blood vessels, which was first noted by Dr. Angioparty. It occurs because the cancer cells undergo necrosis, and as I mentioned, these cells contain mostly nucleus. So nuclear content comes out. Nucleus is mostly made of DNA. So this DNA nuclear material, they deposit around the blood vessel walls, and it was first noted by Dr. Angioparty. That's what it's called, Angioparty's phenomenon. So these are the, and obviously I will be presenting with a lot of characteristic markers like CD56, chromogranin A, synaptophysin, INSM1, another marker is also used. So all in all, I am a very aggressive variant of the lung cancer, small cell carcinoma. Thank you so much.